this is Shubham from Something's Brewing, and today I have for you the Bellezza Bellona, a fantastic dual boiler machine. This machine was designed in Germany by Bellezza Group and it was assembled in China. This dual boiler machine has stainless steel boilers, a 500 milliliter coffee boiler and 1 liter water boiler or steam boiler. Now, the other features of this machine include a cool touch steam wand that doesn't really heat up, so you protect yourself from burns, a PID controller to vary your brewing temperature of your coffee, and volumetric programmable buttons for your water and your coffee brewing. Further, you have a manometer that actually measures not your pressure in the boiler, but actually in the group head, so it's very accurate pressure. Another thing to note is that this has an integrated group head and not a typical group head that is away from the boiler. So that gives you two advantages. One, better thermal stability, and two, it's quick to heat up. So it can actually be ready to brew in about 8 minutes. But if you want your portafilter and your whole machine to be heated up, wait for about 10 to 12 minutes. Now what it doesn't have is an automatic start-stop function where you can program the machine to turn on at a particular time. The Bellona also comes with an external water tank. Now this may seem a little odd to some of you, but the advantage is that it doesn't take too much footprint, too much depth, and you can also notice when you need to refill your water in the water tank very conveniently. It's a glass tank, so it looks pretty good on your countertop. Besides the water tank, you get a bunch of accessories with your machine. So what you get are 2 portafilters, one with a double spout and one with a single spout, and obviously single baskets and double baskets. You don't get a blind portafilter, but you get a blind to clean your machine. It comes with a group head cleaning brush, and the best thing is your solid tamp that has a stainless steel bottom. Something very interesting about this tamp is that you can actually modify your height of where your hand would sit using these little modular pieces depending on how big your hand is. Very thoughtful, I'd say. Moving to the machine comes in 3 different colors, a white in front of you, a stainless steel and a black. Moving to the 4 buttons on the face of your machine. The first button is for your hot water. Now you can actually time your hot water depending on how big your cup is, and you can preset the mode. So you just go on set, you press the button and it's preset at 5 seconds, and you can move it up to how many ever seconds you want. I've set 7 seconds for now. Now, talking about the last 3 buttons, these buttons are for brewing your coffee. The center 2 buttons are programmable again, basis volumetrics, and I would suggest keeping the first button in the center to about 20 to 24 seconds for a single shot, and the second one to about 30 to 35 seconds for a double shot, depending on your grind size and dosage, obviously. Your last button is completely manual, so if you want to brew your espresso freehand or you want to use a scale to weigh your coffee, you can use the last button. The other interesting thing about this machine compared to other dual boiler machines or heat exchanger machines is that in usual dual boiler machines, your hot water output comes from the steam boiler or the water boiler, and the coffee boiler is just used for coffee. Now the advantage of that is that you don't take too much water out of your coffee boiler, but the disadvantage is that your water usually is pretty scalding hot. So when you're brewing tea or an Americano, you actually have to take the water from a kettle or from the machine first and keep it on the side to cool down. Now this machine takes hot water right from your coffee boiler. Now obviously the advantage is that in your workflow you can pull your espresso out first and then take the hot water out on top of it. But the disadvantage also is that if you're taking out too much hot water, your coffee boiler would tend to lose a little bit of thermal stability and you would need to wait for a couple of minutes for it to come back to speed. But the beauty of this is you have a PID to constantly measure where your boiler is at, so you're never going to be disappointed with your coffee. The steam wand on this machine, it actually has a lever, but it's not really a lever. It's more like an on-off switch, but it looks pretty cool and it's very fun to use. It's got a very powerful steaming wand and it generates a lot of steam through your 3 holes on the steam nozzle. Now to conclude, this machine is great value for money and has a very interesting design. So if you have any questions for us, reach out to us on our social handles or write into us at hello@somethingsbrewing.in, and we'd be happy to help you with any questions that you have. Thank you.